Alright, so Shalom. What we're gonna go into today is some scriptures concerning the Passover. Since this is the season that we're in, we're coming into the we'll be in the Passover. What is it? March 26th at sundown, which is a Friday at sundown. So we're gonna go into some scriptures, just some basic understanding of the Passover and why we keep the Passover and how it relates to YAHAWASHI. Okay, so the first scripture we're gonna go into is we're gonna go straight to the book of Exodus, and we're gonna start at the 12th chapter in the first verse.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Right, so when it says this month shall be unto you the beginning of months, the word month, all right, comes from the word moon, all right, and in the Hebrew is Chadash. All right, and Kadash, when you look up the word Kadash, like if you go to the Strong's, if you go to the Red Letter Bible and you look up the word Kadash, let's see, okay, Kadash, right, it'll give you 23:20, all right, for Kadash, and it says the new moon, month, monthly, the first day of the month, the lunar month. Now, if you see right there, it says word etymology. If y'all can see that, it says word etymology, right? Now, if you click the word etymology, it's going to send you to 23:18, which is the same word Kadash, but it gives you a broader, and a better definition of the word Kadash. All right. So now, when you read 2018. It says to be new, renew, repair, to rebuild, make anew, to repair, to renew oneself. Now, if you go to the lexicon in the blue letter for Kadash, right? This is what it says. It says not turning sideways. Oh, it's not turning sideways. Okay. It says Kadash. It says new. Also to polish a sword. Have well observed. It says have well observed that is primarily the sense that of cutting or polishing. It says newness appears to proceed from that of a sharp, polished, splendid sword. Specifically to repair, to restore buildings or towns. Now, the word new moon doesn't necessarily mean something that is brand spanking new, right? Now, if you read in Ecclesiastes in the Bible, the first chapter, and I believe it's the, what is that, like the 5th verse? If I'm not mistaken, the 5th verse. No, the fourth. Let me see. What verse is that? The first chapter in, the 9th verse. It says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. So this is Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. It says the thing that hath been. Now what the thing is that it's referring to right here is talking about your spirit. Okay, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So in other words, there's nothing new under the heavens. There's nothing new on this earth. Everything is repeating itself. You know, fashion comes back, right? Something gets played out and then it comes back into fashion. The same thing with everything is just recycling itself upon the earth. All right. The word new moon, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean something that's brand new. Like the moon was destroyed and then the Most High just created another moon every single month. No, it's the same moon. It's just being rebuilt. It's being repaired. It's being restored. All right. This is why when you go to the book of Revelations, right, it speaks of New Jerusalem. Right. It says how New Jerusalem, how John the Revelator saw New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. It's not talking about a brand new Jerusalem. It's talking about a rebuilt Jerusalem. When you read Revelations again, if you go to Revelations, the second chapter, and read the 17th verse.
This is book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear.
Meaning, if you have understanding, if you have the right understanding, then understand what the Most High is saying. Understand what this Bible is saying. What is the the parables that are being brought out. Go ahead.
Let's see. Okay. He that hath an ear, let him hear. What the Spirit said unto the churches, to him that overcometh, will I give to eat of the hidden manna.
Right, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna. The hidden manna is that knowledge, that wisdom, the true spirit of YAHAWASHI, the true understanding of this Bible. To him that overcometh, meaning you have to overcome the world. You know what I'm saying? You have to totally be immersed within these scriptures, within this truth. You have to be a total believer. A lot of brothers out there, within the Israelite community, a lot of cats are not true believers, man. They look at this as a fad or a fade, like it's a gang or like we're the Black Panthers or something, man. All right, we're not the Black Panthers, man. We're carrying on a legacy that's gonna go on for generations until YAHAWASHI return, and Lord willing, He returns soon. Go ahead.
And will give him a white stone.
Right, it says, and will give him a white stone. Now, when they talk about white stone, it's referring to a sentence of acquittal. That's what it means. In other words, it's like a clean slate. Okay, when you have that white stone, your slate has been wiped clean. All right, you have like a chalkboard, right? You write, that's all your sins written on the chalkboard. You take an eraser and wipe them all off. You have a clean slate. You have a clean stone, a white stone. Oh. And during the Roman Empire, they would give you a white stone when if you was a slave. All right, they would give you a white stone, and that was representing that you was now free. Okay, so that's what it meant when the Most High gonna give us that white stone, meaning we was a slave to sin, but now we're given a clean slate, and we're given that white stone. Now we're made free from sin. Okay, go ahead.
And will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written. Right,
and in the stone a new name written. Now this is what a lot of brothers get confused. They think, see, in the kingdom of heaven God is gonna give us a whole different name. No, it's gonna be the same name, Yahweh. That's His name from now, forever, and for all generations. He's not gonna give us a new name, but the name is gonna be what? Renewed. We just read there's nothing new under the sun. When it talks about new, it's not talking about something that's brand new. It's from the same word, Kadash, which means to renew, to rebuild, to restore. That's what it means when it says He's going to give us a new name. Meaning He's going to restore His name, Yahweh, back unto us, back unto Israel, the chosen elect. Go ahead.
Him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written. which no man knoweth, saying, he that receiveth
it.
Receiveth it.
Right, and what does that mean? It's talking about the name, but it's not saying that no man is going to know the name Yahweh except he that receiveth it. What it's referring to is a name represents something. So if you don't believe in a name, right? Like if a non-believer says the name of the Father Yahweh, they don't really know the name because they don't believe in it. You understand? It has no power with them. That's what it's talking about. Okay, so read that latter part again.
Okay, stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saying, he that receiveth it.
Right, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. That's like somebody calling on Mike Tyson, right? They don't know Mike Tyson record. They never saw Mike Tyson fight in the ring. They don't know nothing about this man. But they'll say, oh yeah, oh how you doing, Mr. Mike Tyson, or Mr. They'll say, how you doing, Tyson, or Mike Tyson? Who's Mike Tyson? Even though they're saying the name, they don't really know what that name represents. That's what it's referring to. Read that part again.
Will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man
knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. See, we received the name Yahweh, YAHAWASHI. We received that name. So we know the name. We know the power that's in that name. We know that what that name represents. A lot of brothers or a lot of cats out there, they might be able to say the name or quote the name because they heard us say it, but they really don't know the name. You understand? They don't know because what's in a name? A name is something that has history behind your name, right? A name has a story behind it. It has eyewitnesses behind that name that can say, yo, that dude, he's a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about. It's not saying that we gonna get to some mysterious brand new name in the kingdom. No, we gonna get the same name Yahweh, but it's gonna be renewed. It's gonna be restored and brought back to his rightful glory. Okay, but now let's go back to Exodus and read that the second verse again.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Right, the first month of the year, meaning the first new moon of the year, is the beginning of our year. Okay, and this usually occurs during March or April. Okay, and when you read the scriptures, let me see something real quick. Give me 1 second. We're just gonna read the definition. Read the definition of a bid. I was looking for the scripture where it talks about a bid. Let me see. Oh yeah, Salaki. It's the next chapter, the 13th chapter, and read the third verse.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
Right, this day, it says, this day came ye out in the month of Abib. Now let's read the definition of Abib. And this is from the, hold the book up. This is from the book, the Unger's Bible Dictionary. All right, hold it up so the camera can see it. The New Unger's Bible Dictionary. All right, and read the month of Abib.
Abib. The month the Hebrews were divinely directed to make the first of the year as a memorial of their deliverance from Egypt. The Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread occurred occurred in it, and it marked the beginning of the barley harvest.
Right. So the word Abib literally means green ears. That's what it meant. All right. You had what you have to understand is that Israel, we was an agricultural community. We was an agricultural society. Our whole economics was based upon our agriculture. And the majority of our high holy days was all surrounded upon our agriculture and giving thanks and praise to the Most High for blessing us with our harvest. So in the month of Abib, right, you had people that would plant, and then as soon as the green ears began to sprout, they would thank the Most High. That's why they would cut certain plants and vegetations down, right? And they will present it to the Most High as praising the Most High for giving them, or for the future harvest that was to come. All right. And the month of Abib, like I said, it meant green ears. So when would they acknowledge the month of Abib? Is when they will begin to see everything to sprout. All right, like over here in Connecticut in the East Coast, you'll see, like, during this time you'll see what they call on the trees pussy willows, right? The little pussy willows they call them. That's like a form of green ears. That's letting you know we're in the month of Abib, because everything is starting to grow. Everything is coming back to life, right? In the wintertime, what happens? All the trees die. Right, except for like evergreen trees and pine trees and so forth. But most of the trees would die, and then they come back to life. You know what I'm saying? They would have the what they call the pussy willows, right? But go ahead, read on.
Verse 5. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land.
No, finish reading.
The Abib.
Yeah, come.
The Passover and the feast of unleavened bread occurred in it, and it marked the beginning of the barley harvest. On the 10th day, the Passover lamb was selected, and on the 14th day was slain and eaten. On the 15th day, the Jews began harvesting by gathering a sheaf of the barley first fruits.
Right, that was the like I said, the first fruits, the sheaf of the barley. So they would cut some barley down and present it to the Most High. You understand? Go ahead. Which was the first fruits, which is also a high holy day. You have Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and then right after that you have the Feast of First Fruits, which is the beginning of the Feast of First Fruits, and then you count 50 days or 7 Sabbaths, and then you would have what they call Pentecost. All right, Penti means 5. Pentecost. It goes back to 50, okay? 50 days. Go ahead.
On the 15th day, the Jews began harvesting by gathering a sheaf of the barley first fruits, and on the 16th day offered it. The slaying of the lamb was typical of the death of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. The feast of unleavened bread of the believers separated walk, while the waving of the sheaf of first fruit spoke of the resurrection of Christ.
Okay, that's going into, a little bit of their interpretation, which is, is pretty much on point, but that's good with that. But the point I wanted to make was that Abib was, it doesn't really say it in here, but it actually, when you look up the word Abib, it means green ears, okay, which is the beginning of the barley harvest, okay. Let's go back to the scripture.
In the beginning, it does say an ear of corn.
Okay, ear of corn, right. But that's another thing, like, you'll see corn in the scriptures. There was actually no corn in the Middle East. Corn is something that is native to the lands of America. All right, the actual word there was for barley. Barley and hops, all right, which they make beer out of, right? They make beer out of hops.
Barley, yeah.
Right, hops, barley, certain grains, wheat. Okay, that's what was more prevalent in the Middle East. Not corn like you see, like a corn on the cob. It wasn't referring to that. Okay, let's go back to the scriptures though.
All right.
The book of Exodus, the 12th chapter, the 3rd verse.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house.
Right. Every shall take unto them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for the house. And it says, speak unto the children of the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb. So when would Israel pick out their lambs? They would pick it out on the 10th day. So you would have the first day, which will be the new moon, and then you will count 10 days, and they will go and pick out a lamb. And then from the 10th day unto the 15th day, or the 14th day until sundown, because they killed the lamb on the 14th day. All right, and let me get I believe it's Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter and the 6th verse. But now the significance was referring to the 10th day, right? So you began to prepare yourself to keep the Passover really from the first day of the first day of the new moon, and then you stepped it into overdrive. You began to really prepare on the 10th day when you pick out your lamb. Now you're really in that overdrive of preparing and cleansing your spirit to be spiritually cleansed to partake of the Passover. All right, which really began on the 10th day when you picked out the lamb. Okay, read what you got.
What was that, 4 and 5 or?
5 and 6.
5 and
1
6.
Corinthians 5 and 6.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 6. Your glorifying is not good. Know ye that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Right. Know ye that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Now, when you read the scriptures, leaven is synonymous with wickedness. You know, it's symbolism to wickedness. That's why during the Passover we was to what? Eat nothing leavened. We was to not have anything leavened. What is leaven? Leaven is really a bacteria or yeast that's put inside dough that causes the dough and the bread to rise. And then you bake it. That's why when you buy a loaf of bread, it's nice and fluffy, and you know what I'm saying? That's because it has leaven in it. So when you take out the leaven, it's not like that. You know, that's how we have to be. And the leaven represent wickedness for us. All right? Spiritually, it represents wickedness. That's why it says your glorifying is not good. And this is referring to brothers in the truth. All right? Some cats think they gonna be delivered, they gonna be saved. You know, they got 100% truth. The scriptures say your glorifying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Even a little bit of leaven could leaven the whole lump up. A little bit of wickedness can make everything wicked. You know, this is why you have to purge out the old leaven. Get rid of that old man as much as you can. And it's not like, it's not going to happen overnight. This thing is a process of time. So it's not for brothers to beat themselves up because, they can't get it right. But you have to be humble and stay humble and repent. You cannot become high-minded, right, and wicked in your and high-minded in your wickedness, man.
Come on.
Go ahead, verse 7.
Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Right, you purge out that old leaven. Like I said, leaven represents wickedness. Go ahead.
That ye may be a new lump.
Right, you become a new lump, a new person, a new man. Go ahead.
As ye are unleavened.
Then you become what? Unleavened. Read on.
For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.
Right, for even Christ, YAHAWASHI, the Mashiach, is our Passover is sacrificed for us. So why are we becoming unleavened? Because we represent, or we acknowledge Yahawashi as our sacrifice, as our Passover lamb. All right, and this is not like I heard. I remember years ago one cat told me, brother, we gotta Yahawashi is our Passover every day. You know, yeah, but we not to keep the because he was trying to tell me that we don't have to keep the Passover.
I've heard that.
Brother, we don't gotta keep the Passover. Yahawashi is the Passover every day. See, the thing about the high holy days, right? It's like spring cleaning, man. You don't clean, right? I mean, you can clean your house every day, right? You clean your house, you know, you do your dishes, you sweep the floor, but you don't go ham on, you know, it's not to say ham like pork, but ham like hard as hell, right? Ham on your house every day. Like lift the sofa up, get under the sofa, you know, move the refrigerator, get the refrigerator out, let's clean behind the refrigerator. You don't do that every day. You might do that once a year. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, you get in the nick and crannies. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You don't do that every day. You don't do that once a month. You might do that once a year. That's why they call it spring cleaning, man. You go in your basement, right? You have a basement that's all cluttered, and you might clean. You don't clean that out every day, or once a day, or once a week, or once a month. Once a year, you might, all right, let's clean this out. Let me see what I need. Trash this. Keep this. You know, same thing with your attic, right? So you don't do that every day. Even though you and then, like I said, I'm using a metaphor as a physical house with your spiritual house. You know, your body, which is really the house for your spirit. So you stay on point with your physical body, but there's certain high holy days where you kick it in the extra gear. You go even harder, right? Because the brothers used to say this back in the day. They said the more you keep the laws, the more they become the same to you. So if you come in the truth and you have an issue with whatever, you know, following certain laws, let's say eating pork, or, you know, you're growing your beard or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, the minor laws, there's greater laws, right, to keep. You got certain issues with keeping certain laws and so forth. You start keeping them one at a time, man. You don't got to keep everything, in one day and be a super Israelite. Look, I'm going to work on this today, and tomorrow, when I master this, then I'm going to work on the next thing. And you just keep going, man, until you get it. Right? And some of us are not going to get it until Yahawashi come in them ships. And that's part of the humility in this truth. Because technically, none of us are going to get it until Yahawashi come in the ships. Because if that was the case, we would not. If we was going to be able to get it on our own, then we would not need Yahawashi. There would be no need for a savior, man.
Right.
If we could just become perfect all on our own. If we could just become perfect all on our own, then we would not have no need of a savior. All right, go ahead. Is that yours?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All kind of way.
Yeah, finish that
Verse
off.
8. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven.
Right, not with that old leaven. So again, during the certain high holy days, Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Day of Atonement, the Memorial Blowing the Trumpets, the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Tabernacles. All these high holy days are times when you kick it into overgear. You go even harder when it comes to this truth. You go even harder when it comes to letting go certain things that old man did. You know what I'm saying? You let those things go during this time. Right? Go ahead.
Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Right, malice and wickedness. And and the reason why I said malice first, because malice is like hatred, hatred for your brothers, man. And that's one thing that a lot of our people, that's one of the greatest obstacles that we have to overcome in these last days is is hatred for our own people. Hatred for our brothers, man. I'm not talking about these wicked ass Israelites out there. I'm talking about brothers within the circle of Israel. There's so much backbiting and bitterness, and you ain't right, you ain't this, and my camp is better than your camp. A lot of brothers out there, they have a lot of malice one for another, right? And this is wickedness that was taught to us by the enemy, to hate each other, man. Brothers be out there. You so-called nigga, what's the report? Y'all the Israelites the Bible speak of, y'all need to wake up. Soon as they wake up, nigga, you ain't my brother. What camp you with? Man, I ain't messing with you, man. You and that brother, I just woke up that you just been preaching, you've been teaching every YouTube video you put out, you yelling at, Jake talking about they need to wake up that they're the Israelites.
Right.
And as soon as we wake up that we're the Israelites, now it's an issue.
Right. Always so.
Now it's another. Now I'm really your enemy. You know what I'm saying? I seen Israelite cats that would have more patience for a Muslim, a Christian, a Edomite, a damn what is them African wannabe dudes, what they call them dudes?
Oh, Egyptologists, dudes?
Yeah, them what the hell? Egyptologists and them Kemet dudes. Them Kemets. You're right. They have more tolerance and patience for them Kemet dudes than they do for their own Israelite brother. Just because they not in their camp or they don't agree with everything that they teach. Right? And that's just showing you they have what? Malice and wickedness. It says, therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness. That's malice and wickedness, man. That's that same wicked spirit that we had when we was in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? When we was in the world, you had your little crew. Anybody else came around, man, who the hell are these dudes, man? You looking at them funny, ready to size them up. Go ahead.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Right, of sincerity. Right? Sincerity meaning you have to be sincere. A lot of cats are just not sincere, man. That's why they're going to get spewed out of the mouth of YAHAWASHI. He said, I will spew, unless you hot or cold, he said, I will spew you out of my mouth. You have to be sincere. You have to be in this truth 100%. Ready to give you everything for this truth. Just like YAHAWASHI gave his everything for you.
That's right.
You have to give your everything for YAHAWASHI. He was willing to sacrifice his life and die for the sins of Israel. Understand that. This is a man that committed no sin. He was given a death penalty for a crime he didn't commit. That's like you are worthy of death. They coming to get you, to kill you, to put you in the electric chair or give you the damn needle. And he said, yo, brother, don't worry, I got this, man. Go out there and just be righteous. I'm going to die for you. And he go to prison and give up his life for you. But you think you don't owe this brother nothing?
Right.
Yeah, you owe me everything.
Right. Let's go back to Exodus. The 12th chapter. What verse we left off at?
We read 3.
Read 4.
We on 4. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
Right. So the number of the souls, in the ancient world, it was no less than 10 and no more than 20 for each lamb. So they would sacrifice a lamb, like I said, no more. The souls was no more than 10. I'm sorry, no less than 20. I'm sorry, Salaki. No less than 10 and no more than 20.
Come on.
No less than 10 people and no more than 20 for each lamb. All right. Go ahead.
it says, and if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Right, it shall be without blemish, meaning it had to be perfect. It had to be a perfect lamb. It couldn't be disformed, disfigured. It couldn't be missing an eye or missing an ear. Right? It had to be the best of your lambs, the best of the lambs. And these lambs, like I looked up lambs on Google, and if you look it up, like you have lambs that cost $50,000, $100,000 for a damn lamb, for a sheep, for one sheep, a certain breed. So these were the type of lambs that we were sacrificing. We was taking the best of the lambs. Like you read about Solomon, how Solomon sacrificed thousands of lambs to the Most High. In modern day standards, Solomon's lambs was like $200,000 a lamb. So he sacrificed millions of dollars to the Most High. Right? And you could Google that. You could Google the price of lambs. Like, what is the most expensive lambs? I ain't going to do it now, but you could Google it. I did it before. All right? You can look it up. But go ahead, read verse 5 again.
Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep.
Right, and it had to be a male, not a female lamb. It had to be a male lamb. All right? It had to be without blemish. It says, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. It had to be within the first year of his birth. Okay, get Leviticus. Leviticus, the 22nd chapter, and read verse 27. And I heard cats bring this out wrong as well when they said that somebody had asked a question as far as like veal. I think they asked about veal. Yeah,
a baby cow.
Yeah, which are baby cows, or now veal, right? Real veal is not just a baby cow. Real veal is like real expensive veal, right? Mm-hmm. So-called delicacies is really unlawful to eat because what Esau does, right? Not the fake veal that you buy at the grocery. That's not real veal. Like real expensive veal. What they do is when the cow is born, the calf is born, or whatever animal they making veal out of, they do not allow that animal to be weaned from his mother. They don't even allow that animal to stand up. They take the animal and they put it in a crate where they don't allow it to stand. You know what I'm saying? Because when it stands, the muscles and the fibers in the muscle begin to strengthen. You know what I'm saying? So they don't allow the animal to do that. And then they immediately kill it. So now the meat is real tender, right? It doesn't have no real muscle. But that's what they call real veal, and that's real expensive. But so that's technically that's unlawful to eat. Okay, but let's read 22 verse 27.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 22, verse 27. When a bullock,
right, a bullock, which is cattle. Go ahead.
Or a sheep,
or
a goat,
Go ahead.
Is brought forth,
meaning when it's born. Go ahead.
Then it shall be 7 days under the dam.
Right, under the dam, meaning receiving his mother's milk, giving suck to the mother. After 7 days, go ahead.
And from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Right, it had to be under the dam for 7 days. After the 7th day, the 8th day, you was allowed to take that lamb and sacrifice it to the Most High. So that when you read back in Exodus, it says your lamb, 12 verse 5, it says your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year, meaning it had to be between 8 days old and 1 year old. Any time within that time, 8 days to 1 year, you was allowed to take that lamb and sacrifice it. So let's say if you had an 8-day-old lamb or a 9-10-day-old lamb, it's still small. You could sacrifice it to the Most High, right? Offer it to the Most High, and that would be your 10 souls, right? That would feed 10 souls, okay, or whatever amount of souls. So it was depending on how big the lamb was, right? So you would get the lamb that was based upon your household, all right? But it had to be between, like I said, it had to be between 8 days old and 1 year old. If it was 1 year and a day, it was not acceptable for the Passover. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 28. And whether it be cow or ewe.
No, that's good right there. Go back to Exodus 12 and 5.
Come on. I'll read that real quick. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
Right, and it was also acceptable to offer goats to the Most High during Passover. Although we use sheep or lambs, right? Our brothers use lambs, and it became more customary among Israel to use lambs rather than goats. Okay, go ahead.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
Right, so you would pick it out on the 10th day, then you would store it. You know what I'm saying? What they also did was they began to fast the lamb. They would fast it. Make it go on a certain fast. They want to feed it as they would still feed it, but to cleanse it, basically, to get all the to make sure his intestines are clean. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Right, and the whole assembly of the congregation shall kill it in the evening. Give me one second. So it says, and he shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. The evening, so you had the 14th day, right? And then on the 14th day, when the sun went down, which was the beginning of the 15th day, all right. But when it says that you shall, that was known as the matter of fact, get Leviticus 23 real quick, just to give you some understanding of this. The book of Leviticus 23 and read verse. Let me see. Read verse 4.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
Right, so you had what they called holy convocations, holy gatherings, when all the males of Israel were to present themselves before Yahweh. And there were 3 feasts that we were commanded to present ourselves before the Most High. Which was Passover, which was it Passover, what was it, Passover, the Feast of Tabernacles, and what's the other one, y'all know? Was it the Feast of Weeks?
Feast of Weeks.
Let me see.
I don't know.
Get Deuteronomy 16. Find a verse. 16, verse 16. Yeah, the Feast of Weeks, that was it. So it was Passover, the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Those were the 3 high holy days that all Israel, or the men of Israel, not all Israel, but the men of Israel were to present themselves before the Lord. Okay, read what you got.
All right.
Deuteronomy.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16, verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thou males appear before the Lord. thou God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread.
Right, in the feast of unleavened bread, go ahead.
And in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
Right, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. So when you have your Passover, wherever you having it, your gathering and so forth, you to bring you not appear before the Most High empty. All right. It was customary back in the days of One West, when brothers would go to the Passover, every brother would bring a bottle of wine. You know what I'm saying? That was part. That was not appearing before the Lord empty. We would all bring a bottle of wine. Just put that with the other bottles of wine that because they already had wine. They had wine for brotherhood, but we will bring a bottle of wine. So that was not to appear before the Lord empty. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessings of the Lord our God, which he hath given thee.
Right, that's good right there. Go back to Leviticus.
Leviticus 23.
Is that light still on that camera?
Yeah.
The red light?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. I'm going to read verse 4 again. Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. And the 14th day of the month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Right, which is the beginning of the 15th day. So the 14th day at evening is the Lord's Passover, which is the beginning of the 15th day. Go ahead.
And on the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Right, so in other words, though the first day of Passover and the last day of Passover was a Sabbath. All right, it was considered a Sabbath to the Most High. So it was just like any other Sabbath, like the seventh. It was like it was to be kept like the 7th day Sabbath, right? But now, because this Passover Feast of Unleavened Bread lasts for 7 days, but the first day and the last day is a Sabbath. The days in between are not Sabbaths; they're regular days. The only restriction that you have is you not to eat anything that has leaven in it. All right, for 7 days you're not to eat anything with leaven. Okay, let's go back to Exodus and read verse 6 again.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 6. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Right, so it says, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it, right, sacrifice it, in the evening. Now, when you look up that word evening, right, it's from the Hebrew word irab, which means mixed or mixed up. And this is where you get the word Arab from. The word Arab is also the same Hebrew word irab, which means to mix, right? Because the Arabs are a mixture of, really, they're Greek Arab babies. They're Greek, they're mixed up with Ishmael and Esau. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, a lot of cats, the Arabs are the Edomites. Yeah, a lot of some of them are. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of Arabs that are actually Esau, but that doesn't mean that those Arab Edomites are not the same descendants of the so-called white man or the so-called European Greeks or Romans. You know what I'm saying? The Greeks and Romans were Edomites. The Greeks and Romans conquered the Arab world and mingled themselves among the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? That's why we call them, a lot of them, we call them what? Greek Arab babies. You know what I'm saying? They are Edomites among the Arabs, but they're Greek Arab babies, man. They're Romans. They're descendants of the same Greco-Roman Empire. Just like you have a lot of Edomites in Egypt. All right, you have a lot of Edomites in Egypt. Why? Because Ptolemy, during the time when Alexander conquered Egypt, the Ptolemy dynasty went and sat upon the thrones of Egypt. That's why in the catacombs or on the walls of Egypt, you'll find certain white images of pharaohs. But these were who? These were Edomites that took down the original black Egyptians and then set themselves up as pharaoh. Just like they stole our identity, they did the same thing with the Egyptians, man. What's her name?
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra was a straight up Edomite. She was a white woman. All right, her mother was an Egyptian. All right, a black Egyptian, and her father was a straight up Greco-Roman, Greek Greco-Roman damn Edomite, man. A descendant of Esau, a straight up white woman. You know what I'm saying? And they sat on the thrones of Egypt as if they were the Egyptians. And they did the same thing with the Israelites. All right, let's read that part again.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 6. And ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Right, and like I said, the word evening comes from the Hebrew word irab, which means mixed or mixed up. And what was the correct understanding of that? It really means between the two evenings. It's not talking about the evening when the sun goes all the way down. It's talking about between the two evenings. All right, look up. I should have looked it up before I started this lesson. But if you look up, somebody give me Matthews 27 and matter of fact, let me look it up on this. Let me see what the blue letter says about this. This is Exodus 12. What was that, 6?
God.
Okay, it says Irab. When we go to Irab, it says evening, night, sunset, evening, sunset, night. Let me see. Let me go to the lexicon. Okay, the lexicon says this. It says between the two evenings, used as marking the space of time during which the Paschal, which is Passover lamb, was slain. It says, and the evening sacrifice was offered, according to the opinion of I don't know what that word is, Caratus and Samaritans. Let me see. The time between sunset and deep twilight.
Sunset and deep twilight. Right. So
it says
between the two evenings, pretty much. Like
right. It says the Pharisees, let me see, and the rabbinics, well, I guess that's the rabbis, considered the time when the sun began to descend to be called the first evening. When it begins to draw towards evening, and the second evening to be the real sunset. Right? And then it goes, okay, that's some other stuff. Alright, so basically, like I was saying, the word evening, Irab, means mixed, and it means between the two evenings. Alright, so the first evening was when the sun began to go down. When does the sun begin to go down? It begins to go down at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Right? 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun is at the height. It's right above you. And now it begins to set. It begins to go down. From 12 to 3 is what they call the first evening. Right? 12 o'clock our time to 3 o'clock p.m. is the first evening. Then from 3 o'clock to about 6 o'clock is what they refer to as the second evening. So between the two evenings is when you killed the Passover lambs. What time was that? It was 3 o'clock our time. Right? In the ancient world, that would be what they call the ninth hour. All right? You had the ninth hour, which is 3 o'clock. Right? The ninth hour is 3, right? Because 12 would be 6. Yeah, so the ninth hour would be 3 o'clock our time, right? So now let's get Matthew 27 verse 45.
You said 45?
Because in the ancient world, right, really like when the sun begins to go up in our time, right, according to whatever this time is called, all right, the modern day time.
Was it Greco-Roman or whatever, something?
Yeah.
Well, they deal with nuclear time. It's actually called nuclear. I think it's called nuclear time. But so right, the sun begins to go up around 6 o'clock in the morning. Right, the sun starts going up, or the sun is coming up. So in the ancient world, when the sun was starting to go up, they would call that the first hour of the day. So you had the first hour, right, which would be 6 o'clock our time. The second hour was 7 o'clock, and so forth. So the 12th hour, 12 o'clock p.m. our time in the ancient world was the 6th hour of the day. You understand? So now let's read Matthew's.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 45. Now from the 6th hour.
See, the 6th hour. Now the 6th hour, our time is 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock p.m. Right? That's the 6th hour that we're reading about right here. To give you understanding. Go ahead.
Was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour.
It was darkness unto the 9th hour. The 9th hour would be 3 o'clock our time. Give me 1 second. What is that? Matthew's what?
Matthew 27, verse
27.
45.
Let me just get the scripture. Yeah, go ahead.
See, verse 46. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Right. And this was showing how at this time, the reason why YAHAWASHI was saying that was because he he did not feel the presence of the Most High.
I just thought about it, like when you said that time right there, that 9th hour, compared to Exodus, where they said that's when they slain it between the two evenings,
right?
Which would be at that